right, so we're excited to kick off the day with you as we dive into the top news conversation by calling in. So you can either call us or send us a text or a voice note on WhatsApp. So to call us, the number to call is 0808 704 1217. Let's take that call line again, 0808 704 1217. So you can call us and share your thoughts during the course of the conversation. To text us on WhatsApp or send us a voice note, 0901 615 0614. Let's take that WhatsApp number again, 0901 615 0614. We're also on Facebook and on YouTube at Bright FM Abuja. So do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. We're going to begin by just running through all of the headlines for this morning, and as usual, we'll start taking it one at a time. Okay, we're going to begin with this news on Vanguard newspaper this morning, and the headline reads, remit 12 billion naira loans deducted from workers' salaries. Creditors urge FG. This one is on Vanguard newspaper. Remit 12 billion naira loans deducted from workers' salaries. Creditors urge federal government. That's on Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now, still on Vanguard, minimum wage, labor to deal with councils that defy directive. That's on Vanguard. Minimum wage, labor to deal with councils that defy directive. That's on Vanguard this morning. Still moving forward to Punch, still on the minimum wage issue. Strike begins in 5 states. FCT as panels meet. Minimum wage strike begins in 5 states. FCT as panel meets. That's on Punch newspaper this morning. Moving forward to Vanguard, tax reforms must not worsen Nigerians' uneven development, says Atiku. That's on Vanguard. Tax reforms must not worsen Nigerians' uneven development, says Atiku. That's on Vanguard newspaper. Still on Vanguard, Tinubu departs France to co-chair 11th session of BNC in South Africa. That's on Vanguard. Tinubu departs France to co-chair 11th session of BNC in South Africa. Now, still on Punch, tax reforms. Reps suspend debate indefinitely as Northern governors mount pressure. A tax reform, reps suspend debate indefinitely as Northern governors mount pressure. That's on Punch this morning. On Daily Post, political elements, military personnel benefiting from insurgency in Borno. Governor Zulum on this one, and this is on Daily Post. Political elements, military personnel benefiting from insurgency in Borno. That's Governor Zulum on that one, and this headline is on Daily Post. Now, moving forward to Vanguard, Nigerians begging for survival, can't afford food. APC chieftain laments. This one is on Vanguard. Nigerians begging for survival, can't afford food. APC chieftain laments. All right, moving forward, still on Daily Post. Nigerians living fake good life with fuel subsidy. Tinubu on this one. This is on Daily Post. Nigerians living fake good life with fuel subsidy. Tinubu earned this one, and that on Daily Post. Now, moving forward to The Nation. Why faith-based universities charge high fees. Olukoya on this one. Why faith-based chance this morning. When we come back, we'll dive into the conversation proper. Please do not forget that you can be part of the conversation. We encourage you to be part of the conversation, so you can either call us via our call line, our direct call line, or text us or send us a voice note on WhatsApp. The numbers as follows for calls: 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217 to call us, and then to send us a text on WhatsApp or a voice note, 0901 615 0614. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Compliments of the season. How was your trip?
I just had to rush in yesterday.
Yeah, it's well with you.
It is well.
Welcome.
Well done.
All right.
Shall we? Let me glance.
We'll just start with minimum wage and their wahala. All right, welcome back, Mrs. Celestine. Good morning to you. Compliments of the season.
Good morning.
Christmas is here.
It's here already.
Good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, my dear.
All right, so we're going to begin with the story on Vanguard newspaper this morning, and the headline reads, minimum wage, labor to deal with councils that directive. That's on Vanguard. I think we're going to join it together with the next story on Punch also, that says that a strike begins in 5 states. FCT as panel meet. Let's look into the main stories. Now, on Vanguard, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has vowed to take action against state governments that failed to implement the new 70,000 naira minimum wage by the December 1st deadline. Now, according to NLC President Joe Ajero, any state council that fails to comply with the directives will be sanctioned. However, Ajero clarified that there would be no national strike. Instead, actions would take place in state councils that defaulted. The affected states include Abia, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ebonyi, Ekiti State, Enugu, Imo State, FCT, Nasarawa, Katsina, Kaduna, Oyo, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara. Now, Ajero expressed concerns about some states, particularly Zamfara, which allegedly failed to set up a committee to address this matter. He noted that some states had made progress with some meeting their obligations by the deadline. The NLC president hinted that some council chairmen, in collaboration with defaulting governors, were working behind the scene to sabotage the efforts to ensure that all states fully implement the payment of the new minimum wage. Ajero emphasized that the NLC will take a state-by-state approach, with a committee reviewing reports from each state to determine the next steps. Now, the NLC has warned that any attempts by state governments to ignore the directive would be met with decisive action, potentially leading to strikes in non-compliant states. The head of information and public affairs of the NLC, Benson, said it would be difficult to know the number of states in default due to last-minute efforts by some states to implement the new minimum wage. Now, moving forward to the story about how the strike begins in 5 states, FCT as panel meets. That's on Punch. Says workers in the Federal Capital Territory, Cross Rivers, Nasarawa, Ebonyi, Kaduna, and Zamfara states may embark on a strike on Monday, December 2nd, over the non-implementation of the new 70,000 naira minimum wage. Now, the strike is a call to the failure of the state authorities to negotiate the payment new minimum wage. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has directed workers in the affected states to embark on an indefinite strike until further directives are issued. Despite efforts by some state governments to avert the strike, the NLC has insisted that the strike will go ahead as planned. Now, in Kaduna State, the government claimed to have commenced the implementation of the new national minimum wage, with the least paid worker receiving 72,000 naira as gross salary in November. However, the state chapter of the NLC confirmed its planned strike, saying that the workers will embark on a strike as directed by the NLC leadership. In other states, the NLC has also confirmed its readiness to embark on the strike. Now, in Ebonyi State, the chairman of the NLC, Ogugo Egu, disclosed that the state workers had been directed to join the ongoing industrial action from Monday. Similarly, in Zamfara State, the NLC Secretary Ahmed Abubakar said workers in the state had yet to receive the new minimum wage and would join the strike as directed by the national body. The organized labor in Cross River State had also confirmed its readiness to embark on an indefinite strike over the non-implementation of the new minimum wage. However, it was learned that the state government reached an agreement with the state chapters of the NLC and TUC late on Sunday night to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage to its workers. The outcome of the agreement is yet to be confirmed, and it is unclear whether the state workers will still embark on the strike. Good morning one more time, Mr. Celestine.
Yeah,
Last week, when we were talking about this, especially the conversation bordering around NLC, it was Mr. J, that was here, and he said something. He said that, any state that is not able to meet up with this, like that it's wicked of them, not be able to meet up with the 70,000 naira minimum wage, especially because of where we're at the country, at this time. In fact, I remember during the conversation I asked him, okay, left for you, what would you think that the average minimum wage should be? And he said 200,000 naira.
Definitely, in Nigeria today, as a family, as a man, just a man with his wife, 70,000 naira is not even enough for a week. So if you ask me to, I'll tell you that the minimum wage you should be talking of anything from 200, 250 above. Now, having said that, the states that are yet to implement this minimum wage, yeah, I agree with Mr. J. That is sign of wickedness. But we should also ask these questions, because I know of states that found it difficult to pay salaries when these minimum wages have not been implemented.
I mean, we talked about how that even the 30,000 naira was a problem.
Was a problem for some states.
Yes.
So we have to ask. We have to look deep into this. What can the federal government do to help these states? Because take it or leave it, there are some states I know that up to today are still owing workers salaries, not because the governor doesn't want to pay, but from the allocation they get and their staff strength. Because that is another thing we need to look at. There are some states I know that more than 50% of their citizens are government workers. So we need to put all this into perspective while we discuss this.
Another thing I was also saying is that it's one thing to agree that you're going to pay
Exactly.
70,000 naira, another thing to be
maintain
consistent with it.
So if a state that was paying 30,000 naira minimum wage had to owe salaries, then when you force the same state to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage with the same allocation coming in, then there will be a problem. So we need to look at it holistically. What can the federal government do? Is there a need for a bailout for some states? Those are the narratives I want the Are there states that truly need bailout, truly need help from the federal government to be able to pay but that 70,000 is non-negotiable for me. Every state must have to pay that 70,000 naira minimum wage if they have the interest of their workers at heart.
We're looking at about that should be over 7 states right now that are still not able to meet up. And if we even look at it, because you talked about how that the federal government needs to come in. And yes. Talking about Port Harcourt and Siminalayi, we saw how he was able to, pull through with his, talking about how that there has been state-generated funds entirely.
Exactly. That is where I'm
generated funds, and how they've not been borrowing anything, of recent to run the states, and how internally they've been able to maintain the state, since Siminalayi, came on board. And looking at it, it still boils down to, states, governors and leaders of different states to begin to think of, how to leverage, resources that they have internally.
Now we have to be sincere with ourselves. A governor that sits over Port Harcourt, where we have multinational companies in their numbers who are able to pay tax, and a governor that sits over, let me use an Ekiti state for instance, where the whole of the states, I'm not sure you have any of these multinational companies situated there. You won't expect these two governors to be competing in terms of internally generated revenue. So when we talk about governors looking inward, yes, I agree. But it will take federal government intervention for some states to actually look inward, because for some states, looking inward means them building industries that will generate this internal revenue.
Okay.
Not that the industries are already on ground. So for some states, they need to invest in their states, invest in exploring some existing natural mineral resources in order to generate internal revenue. So in all, the federal government has a greater role to play to help to bail out some states in this discourse. But I know there are a lot of states that their internal revenue is enough to take care of their base. The states like Lagos State, like Rivers, like maybe a state like Kaduna, of course, should be able. These are states where we have significant industrialization already in existence. So we should put this into perspective when we talk about minimum wage. so that the labor, while they embark on this strike in those states, should also be discussing with the federal government on how to help such states in making sure that they meet up to their expectations.
Now we're seeing that the strike. I think today is second.
Today is
so
second, yeah.
Moving forward, we're going to hear more about the strike action in the different states, and we just want to be hopeful that it's going to yield results. We understand, just like Mr. Celestine just mentioned, that there are some states, that might not be able to meet up. But again, there has to be conversation, there has to be intervention, because whether we like it or not, the person who is at the receiving end of whatever is going to play out in all of this is still the average, a worker. So this is where we're at, and we're trusting that even President Joe Ajaero, and his team would work around this with the sitting governors of different states to know, how we would move forward from here. So, but again, in case you want to be part of the conversation, the number is still 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. And on WhatsApp, you can text us at 0901 615 0614. Now, let's move forward to Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now, the headline reads, remit 12 billion naira loans deducted from workers' salaries. Creditors urge FG. Let's look at this story properly. The Humanity Development and Empowerment Organization, also known as the Lenders Association, has called on the federal government to urgently remit 12 billion naira in loans deducted from civil servants' pay slips and salaries. Now, the association comprises commercial banks, microfinance banks, and finance companies, has stated that the unremitted deductions have significantly impacted their operations. The Lenders Association outgoing national president Osita emphasized the need for the incoming leadership to prioritize solving the issue with the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, which is the IPPIS. Now, Mr. Osita highlighted the association's achievement during his tenure, including the provision of over 6.2 billion naira in loans to more than 2,400 federal civil servants. The association's newly elected executives, led by Mr. Dele, have pledged to build on the achievements of their predecessors and address the outstanding remittance issues. Now, Mr. Daly also assured members that the association will work with relevant government offices to ensure that deductions are properly accounted for and credited to lenders. The Lenders Association calls for urgent action. It comes as the federal government faces criticism for its handling of civil servants' salaries and loans. Now, the government has been accused of borrowing to pay salaries, with some reports suggesting that over 2.2 trillion naira has been borrowed from banks to pay civil servants. We're still back to borrowing, but I don't know what to make out of this particular story, but again, seeing that they've called on the federal government to, we're looking at 7 billion naira in loans that have been deducted from the pay slip of the civil servants who were saying that the 70,000 naira minimum wage is not even enough, and some states have not implemented it, and also we're looking at how that the government is borrowing to pay salaries. I mean, there's just a lot around this conversation.
This is I don't know how to put it, but who we are, a kind of, because yes, they are legal. These deductions are things that I hope that maybe if at the end of my service to the nation, at the end of my service as a civil servant, and I'm retiring, this is what I'm falling back on, what I have saved over the years. But we know what happens to our retirees. We see the epileptic states of our pensioners. This is one of the issues. Their pensions, their savings, their deductions, when are not being remitted, exactly. They are being borrowed by state government, or being held back by state government or federal government to pay salaries or to mismanage the fund. Now, we look at it as Anyway, this is you don't need to know because my dad is a retiree,
Okay.
and I know what I'm talking about. You don't need to know what these people are passing through, and this money were deducted from their salary. When a pensioner is asking you for his gratuity and all what may, he is not asking you to lend him money. These are deductions from his salary that was saved over the years of his service. And because of who we are, we mismanage and squander them. And when these people retire, it becomes a problem to pay them. Now, let me bring it to the one that affects me and you. Anyway, let me not to go too deep. But private sectors is worse.
You know,
after deductions, when you now retire, so what happens to you? For some of us that have been in the private sector all these years, so what happens to you when you retire? These are questions that have
that are we don't have answers to, you know. But this is where we're at, and we're looking at how that even in Nigeria now, we've seen how we've been complaining that the government has been borrowing, you know, loans, and we've seen how instead of even paying off debts, we've been servicing loans. So if is it now the one that you're owing your civil servants in your own country that you're going to like pay back? But the truth of the matter is, I mean, it's okay that the Humanity Development and Empowerment Organization, they are coming out to hold government accountable, you know, to say, you people borrowed money, you loaned money from the pay slips of civil servants, from their salaries. And this money that you people loaned from them, we're looking at 12 billion naira. Please urgently remit it. And I think that there's no better time to call on the federal government to remit these funds than now. There's really no better time. Looking at the economy, looking at how people are trying to survive. In fact, there's a way federal government just remits this money now, a smile will just come on the faces of workers.
I keep wondering, especially these our pensioners, that even before this collapse of economy, we're finding it difficult to survive. I'm still wondering how they survive up to now. They don't have a salary, they don't have a work they do. They depend only on the tiny pension you give them, and even the tiny pension that was not sustaining them then was not forthcoming, and now this is where we're at. How do they survive?
Is a lot to handle, and you're seeing how that another thing that they're doing also is calling on the federal government, because I mean the federal government is also facing criticism for the way that they handle salaries of civil servants and loans and all of sometimes there are deductions that there are no explanations for. A lot of these things accumulate, and that's why these people are coming out to call on the government, and we're just really hopeful that the government will listen and do the needful. The number to still call is 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. Mr. John from Otaka. I started with you this morning. Yes, so. I did with you.
If you take time, operate art, you will not say art get that time.
Mr. John.
Mr. John. Where the test I come be?
Now.
The more you look, the less you see.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because you know what can say in any way people have work finish. Once more begin, we don't know when they marry mama, go take another people and say, now take care of the baby every month. When the people have money
has been deducted. Yes. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
You go tell me that old man, was they happy with the situation and with the government? Before you stop want to, the small boy will come up and say that they lost. But the government
It is well.
Maybe complex. That is what I do. If pension me I retire, back if the money na better.
Give
Back
her.
the money all give her.
Yes.
Anything we want to do with the money, you not concern you na money.
My money, you saved it from his salary, for Christ's sake.
You understand? Na from the salary save am. You make himself, you not make yourself comfortable. You know more I want to come and I gather here too. Now I want to keep over the dollar say, now we will determine how you will spend your money.
It is
That's
well.
why you see the corruption. Corruption is the corruption. Because if any opportunity comes, when it's still embezzle money, he has no potential. Why people they go for that pension they don't get? If you get enough, people that pension they don't give you, they give you nothing.
Nothing
Nothing
concern
concern,
you,
yes.
exactly.
That's why the citizen Nigeria and waiting to the problem of the government. They want to be making themselves rich. So
Exactly.
that the poor masses will be better, will be going down for them. Anything they say is the final. The politicians want to make themselves a petty god.
Yeah.
They're God. In infinite mercy, we just there. Because there is no reason how pensioner will work for 30-something years. You will be giving me 30,000, 35,000. In this current
Economy.
It's sad.
It's very sad.
Well, George, you know, it's saying that this one, there is no need. We didn't have any labor president.
Let's have some faith in them this time with Mr. John.
We didn't have any labor president. If we have labor president, from the first day, Mr. President, the number one citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria said, subsidy is gone. Now that day, Nigeria will stand up saying a lie, subsidy remain. When people are crying, they see their body. We will not forget that quickly. And 2015, when people are saying one trial,
I agree with you. They reversed it.
when people begin now, they want to something in my sister and brother, people don't, that because people they complain. People try to be proper solution.
Exactly.
So why they brought in the talk, they say African man, when something don't say African man, I better go to
Yes, now. That's what it will be. Yes.
Yeah.
How we go take come up from this to when these politicians they do us. This is what that we are doing. The people
Education.
I agree with you.
the little sweat that they are subsidizing for us, they are not going to do it again. These people are not doing it something for us again. We must stop taking our pension. Now because we are not getting anything free from the government.
Let's round up Mr. John.
We are not getting anything free from the government. So if they will take back the subsidy, I did not blame them. Governor that they say they will not pay. You understand?
No, seriously, some governors will not be able to pay.
So I'm not blaming them. You understand? They make every grant. Okay, okay, is this here? Someone cannot go to work. Where is high? Why did they put the NFP, what are that? Okay, fuel was not 1,500, but now fuel not gone down to 1,100. And they say no subsidy again. How is it 1,500 before? Gone down to 1,100.
That is it.
Now we dey do ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Just imagine how much they reach 1,500. Now you there for 1,100. When the cost rate is now, cash now goes there account. Another topic.
Let's round up Mr. John. I dare with you.
Let's continue.
I dare with you. Thank you,
Thank you
so
so
much. In fact, this is not a very good tone to start the morning with. In a new month, Mr. John, be calming down. But I understand your frustration, yes.
It is frustrating. And the more we talk about it, the worse it's getting by the day. Okay, today I was coming. I boarded a taxi and the prices have changed. I wanted to ask the guy, ask him, did the price of fuel change again?
No, when the conversation continues, I'll tell you, I entered market yesterday now. Even me, I held my chest. I'm like, what is going on in this country? From where to where to where?
Prices keep getting higher and higher and higher by the day, and we are still marveling about whether they are able to pay 70,000.
Exactly.
These workers, they go to
Why,
market.
that's why, when Mr. J said last week that it will be wickedness on the part of any government
To even be negotiating it.
Exactly, because I mean, what is 70,000
What is 70,000 naira? What can it do
time?
for a worker?
Mr. Celestine, we're having this conversation. Don't worry. I said I enter market Saturday, right? Even me, I hold my chest. I say, waiting there. Person go just get high blood pressure.
No, now as in yes, we know how
It's a
before
lot.
if you carry 50K for instance, enter market.
You go buy better now.
You go they one
You go buy better now. Carry the 50K, enter market now. You go see as they be. Let's listen to this one. I think it's from Mr. Goodluck. Okay, trying to like play the voice notes. Okay, I think we'll walk around that. But again, regarding the conversation that we're just having earlier, we're just really hopeful that as this organization has come out to call on the government, that the government would really do the needful and remit all of those loans. Hello, good morning. Okay, do well to call back 0808 704 1217. Let's take that number again 0808 704 1217. And on WhatsApp, you can text us at 0901 615 0614. Now, the conversation continues. Let's move over to the next story. Before that time, let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? All right, do well to call us back. Now, moving forward on this story on Daily Post newspaper, the headline reads, political elements, military personnel is benefiting from insurgency in Borno State. Governor Zulum on this one. Now, let's look into the main stories. Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State has revealed that certain individuals are benefiting from the ongoing insurgency in the state. Now, speaking in an interview with Channels Television on Sunday, Zulum disclosed that the sponsors of insurgency have no interest in seeing the crisis come to an end. The governor further explained that these beneficiaries are not just limited to Borno State, but they are spread across different parts of the country. Now, cutting across all levels of society, from civilians to military personnel. Now, among the population, I cannot say who, we still have some people who don't want to see the end of this crisis. They are benefiting from it, not only civilians, it cuts across all strata. Now, many times informants were arrested within the community. Many times military personnel were arrested for trying to provide ammunition to the insurgents, he stated. Now, Zulum added that there is a high level of foreign intrusion in the state, which aids the activities of insurgents. The porosity of our borders, the fringes of Lake Chad, the Sambisa Game Reserve make safe haven for terrorists. How many times have we had conversations bordering around insecurity and, fingers are pointing to, people, in government, political elements, military people, this is not even the first time we're hearing, Governor Zulum complain.
He's not the only one complaining. And the thing is, I keep asking myself, insurgency that claim people's lives, that destroy properties on a daily basis, is what you are eating from, and you are comfortable. And in fact, you are doing everything to make sure people keep dying so that you have money. To what end? But that is where we have found ourselves, that people are getting richer because people are dying.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Okay, we've lost that one. Please do well to call back 0808 704 1217. I still stand, anytime we talk about insecurity, Mr. Celestine, I still stand with, Mr. Abdallah. Anytime that we talk about insecurity, I stand with Mr. Abdallah. Mr. Abdallah has said countless times that state of emergency on insecurity would do us is that it will channel focus on
insurgency.
Let's see if we can take this call on WhatsApp. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, are you there? Hello? Okay, please do well to call back. I don't know what is going on. Just do well to call us back, either via call 0808-704-1217, or you send us a text 0808-704-1217. So moving forward, the conversation bordering around insecurity, there are some people who have called to say that I've forgotten the past, leader that said something about if insecurity lasts, for more than 48 more than 48 hours, just know that the leadership is involved.
Yes.
And sometimes when we hear some of these things, there's really no doubt in that statement.
Definitely.
Because if a sitting governor should come out to say we have arrested some military personnel
trying to
provide
ammunition for
these are the ones that they saw.
These are the ones they saw. Now, I keep asking this question: how do these guys get hold of the kind of the sophisticated weapons they brandish? Don't we have borders? Where do they buy it from? Well, as in, because of the military involvement, because some state elements are involved, some where the politicians are involved, they can easily get their ways around. So that is why we are here, because you can't tell me that that Nigerian military, that parade one of the best land military, cannot get hold of these guys and stop them. But because there are elements in the government and in the military and in the elite sector that are as in sponsoring this, they make sure they boycott and frustrate every effort to stop it.
And that's because of the major reason that Governor Zulum is giving, because he's saying there are people benefiting heavily from this. If there's one governor that people have praised, for fighting insecurity, Governor Zulum is one person that people have said pays attention to this fight, on insecurity. So for him to come out, because he has been in the system, he's been working hand in hand with both government and security personnel to make sure that Borno is safe, for the people. Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Please, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Ms. Tanze. Thank you. Please go ahead. Okay, please go ahead.
Exactly.
So, assuming that the government has Chikezie look into it, this very thing that ended because of the military people, which government has not created, that's why people. So, for written like that, it's not important that it's
yes, severally.
So this one is just a reminder. I come to the point of pensioners. You see, we have two types of pensioners. Retirees and pensioners. Pensioners are what are government is paying. While retirees are what are paying their money. At the end of the day, when you retire, that money is still what is going to pay your pension. But at the end of the day, they are people with their money,
yes.
Some of them will be on the queue, they will suffer and die.
Yeah, several occasions.
How much is it pension? How much is pension? Some of them are saying that 4,000 naira. How much is that? You see, the thing is that the government of the day has not overtraded in the country, overtraded. We are doing what our country. We don't have this money, so we are spending that we are saying that issue. That's why we're going there.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I think that will reduce cost of governance. This will reduce this thing that is issue. So what happens? We are going and we are spending that issue on the money we are going. That everything is going on everywhere. Until cost of governance is reduced. This is not the issue. So I want to go to pay salary, go to buy aircraft, go to pay administration, go and pay. Don't have this money. Okay, that is all you have. NFCC collected it in advance. So what is happening to the company like very small minimum. So to really that what we have collected in advance, what that is, everybody wants to happen. So the solution is the late government reduce cost of governance. On the issue of this very expensive market, that's what they call three things in economy. Inflation, exchange rate, and interest rate. All of them are high. All of them are high. That's why I cost of goods in the market. What you need to get up, you get up one. Interest rate is very high. You don't want to borrow money to business. You borrow money to bank. Interest rate is very high. That's what I'm about to do here as a trader. So that's how I'm going to push the price to cover.
Exactly.
Inflation is high.
Interest rate is high.
Interest rate is high. Exchange rate is high. High kind of interest rate is against that. That's why it's very expensive in the market. Why don't you do one? Zero to one. If they say bring it down, things will start coming down in the market.
Let's round up, Mr. Nze.
What you are thinking to the cost of energy. Cost of energy is very high. Oil subsidy is gone.
Subsidy.
Petrol is high. Petrol is high. How can people survive?
Everything is
High.
People go to buy things in the market. Or when there is a risk motor.
Yes.
yes now.
So as you also you have put it in price for the consumer. Even if you are telling them not, what are they going to get? They are going to buy that thing now.
Of course now.
They just don't have dollar. It's not dollar. It's not dollar. Why because of something into the currency.
That's so. That's so.
Another thing in the market. That is very expensive market.
Let's round up, Mr. Nze.
So the solution is that let's not make trade off one of these things. Either exchange rate come down, or cost of rate come down, or interest rate come down. So that the children, one of them are very high. I don't know where I'm going to.
Thank you.
When you go to lose, and you make sure you will back. You know the back.
Thank
You
you.
are one chance now. That's very good.
Thank you.
Mr. Nze said that we're in one chance.
But just like what he said, these three factors are very essential in determining the prices of things in the market, and all of them are on the high.
There's one thing that Mr. John always says. You know, most of my callers, they have like a particular stand. Mr. John would say something like, you see fuel price, if it just drops,
Everything will drop.
that's like, if there's anything that the government can say, okay, let's because I mean, Mr. Nze just said now, if something is not working, reverse.
Reverse, yes.
If there's one thing I think that the government needs to reverse on right now, is this
The price of fuel.
Price of fuel. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Hello, can you hear me? All right, please do well to call back 0808 704 1217 0808 704 1217. That's our call line. And in case you want to maybe send a text on WhatsApp 0901 615 0614 0901 615 0614. Now there's just so much bordering this conversation around insecurity, especially because it involves the lives of the average young person or old person in living in Nigeria. So but again, we're just really hopeful that at some point the government will realize that this thing called state of emergency on insecurity is really very, very important, especially in battling insecurity. For a sitting governor to come out to reveal that, I mean, there are people who are benefiting from insurgency in Borno State, and also pointing out that, I mean, political elements are involved, military personnel are involved. It is something to probe. It is well head on, look for the bad eggs in the different sectors that are participating in the unrest in the country and fish them out for crying out loud. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning to you, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Steve is my name. I'm calling you from
Mr. Steve from Wuse, please go ahead.
No, do say.
Okay, Mr. Steve from Duse, please go ahead.
Let me first of all go to
Hmm.
the most governor who cannot say they are just confused and they don't do the right thing. That's the money. Why would the state governor not pay if he can carry or take away 80 billion for himself alone? Do you know what that means? That kind of money that they are acquiring, if they were using it to invest, there's nobody who has said that the state government should not do it. They have to invest, but they don't want to do it. Every state governor has the key, their own CDN in their hand. They take the money as they like. They buy whatever they want to buy. But they're so reckless. You know. Look, this country, we have very wicked leaders. I'm use that word. I'm not sorry to use it. Our leaders are wicked, very wicked, from the legislation to payment to everywhere. They are not very, very wicked. They know what they are doing. Tell me, what work is the senator doing to earn so much? Tell me, why teachers who are teaching, who are doing this job very well, they are not well paid, and they don't care. Hospitals are not well equipped. You know, when they are having any small problem, they just put heads like out, go to themselves and come back. And we are here looking at them. How fair is that? And I'm talking to you.
I'm with you.
I am a pensioner myself. It's been terrible. If you see most of our colleagues, you see this country.
I'm with you.
They don't care. They are not just bothered. In the army thing or the military or whatever it's called, they have joined the bandwagon of battle. Look at it, luxurious life. So I tell you, if they say they should the military budget, since we find government will be shocked that we don't have anything shown for it. So government should pay that money. Nobody pay anything. They must pay that kind of thing. Because if they pay that money, they will not have what to spend and cutting away. That is the problem. Because if they are doing that, money will go around. They should pay. People should complain that they cannot pay. If you cannot pay, leave the government house. Another person you can pay. And there are people who are ready to pay that money, but they don't have the money there. So if you have opportunity there, take care of your people and pay that money. Right now. You should stop all this like my sister was saying that if you go to the market, you just ask the marketers that our traders that are joining the bar one on the weekend. They just put price the way they like.
Everybody wants to survive.
Yes. They just put price the way they like and nobody controls it.
Please round up.
I rather not. Look at the point. The man on our from that. I don't want to go more and more and more. There are so many factors that are keeping us behind.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution on that one. And one of the major things that you said that lots of persons will agree with, is the part where you mentioned about cutting down the cost of governance and how that if states also begin to invest, it would also help them in making sure that they cater to the needs of the civil servant. Thank you so much for calling. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. Are you there? Are you with me? All right, do well to call back 0808 704 1217. That's in case you want to call us 0808 704 1217. You can text us on WhatsApp also 0901 615 0614. Let's take this one on WhatsApp. Yinka at Pegni says, good morning, Mr. Sele and all. It's now they are waking up to see that some top-notch elites don't want the insurgency to end. Say no be today. As for the federal government not remitting civil servant money, it is building up more corrupt-minded civil servants. All right, thank you so much, Yinka, for your contribution right there on WhatsApp. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Yes, I can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Mr. Sunday from Nasarawa, is that you? Okay, Mr. Sunday from Gariki. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead. Mr. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the problem.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
The removal.
Yeah.
They now was average over 100,000.
Yeah.
That is not easy. So, in comparison, who is talking to the resident of if we need that are taught to know about that acceleration force, that are coming to revenue or very take to answer our problem. So, I don't understand. When could not take away from the back to case 12? And there was tension in the land, there was a lot of protest. He tried to go back to the initial track.
Mr. Sunday, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but some people have also argued that, I mean, you don't expect the president to, fix the country in, just about a year in office, because some of those policies, will begin to reap the fruit, down the line.
That's like what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
Our leaders, all the presidents who have in this country lack continuity.
I'm with you.
If policies and programs travel down to us, we are trying to adapt to the system. Because to say that if 10 years is gone,
It's gone. Another person will come.
enjoy one day of the administration. Another government will come.
And start from beginning.
People,
I see what you're saying.
people inside here, and the same people be saying it to us, that this man again is the best man that come to the demon. So what about the years to all these things? Because what I'm trying to say is that when we are in the first they say it's enough for Buhari, Nigeria would have collapsed.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
with you.
Gone. Yeah. We'll continue with it.
I'm
Yes,
with
sir.
you. Please round up.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Thank you, Mr. Sunday.
In 4 years, I should give him another 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. There's one thing that Mr. Sunday pointed out that, it's also very vital, and, it's about continuity.
Yes.
And how that we also see it with governors of different states. How that a governor would probably start a road project somewhere, when his tenure elapses and somebody else comes, they will totally leave that project and start. So what happens to continuing?
As in, the government will come with policies, people will suffer for because of the policies. Yes, because it is a new policy, we are trying to adapt to it. And when there is change in government, the policy is abandoned, and you bring a fresh policy, and we start from scratch again.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But again, in case you're just tuning in, this is Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Do not touch your radio, please. Stay with us. Who's doing our WhatsApp?
No, that person. That was what I wanted to show.
Oh, there's
another one.
Thing. Yes.
Siri, play some tunes.
This
Sorry, something went wrong.
Music, please.
This Opus file, I don't know that. What happened? I know. Now what I'm saying is just a file file extension. I don't know where it is getting this Opus file extension. And the system will not play it on
Music never fails.
since 3 years ago, I got happening anyway. I prepare it without a lot of content to control. I see them I see them from my friends. I see them go low. Yes, I can let them. They found yourself, but you never go to Ghana before. Let's discuss the headlines and politics. Self-study bonus of 20.
They even remix it.
No, yeah, that was what I'm saying. Now I wanted to download it. It's not agree. There's an extension that the system needed. Web media extension.
This system will just stay.
I think we'll just allow it. I will take my time and do it after.
They say we even go for no 30 minutes.
8 a.m. I'm here since.
Try playing this one.
This one we play out. These people play out. Like the system.
Yeah.
You don't go to
Something else for us.
Let's discuss the headlines and politics.
So which one are we?
They come back say APC chieftain say Nigerians are suffering and
Get involved and have your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic, weekdays, 8 a.m.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is still Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7, and we're still reviewing, the news stories on the newspaper headlines. Now, we've looked at, the creditors urging federal government to remit 12 billion naira loans deducted from workers' salaries. We read that from Vanguard newspaper, and also we touched, labor regarding the minimum wage issue. That was on Vanguard and Punch newspaper, as strike begins in 5 states, and also labor saying that they're going to deal with councils that defy directive. Also, we've also looked at the fact that Zulum has come out to complain that political elements, military personnel are benefiting from insurgency in Borno State. In case you want to be part of the conversation, please, by all means, would love to hear from you. The number to call is 0808 704-1217. We're so sorry. Some persons are sending us voice note on WhatsApp, but we're unable to play the voice notes now. But our engineer is already on the matter. We're working on it to make sure that moving forward, we can listen to your voice note. But please just send us a text on WhatsApp in case you want to reach out to us on WhatsApp 0901-615-0614, and to call us directly 0808-704-1217. Let me take that call line again slowly this time. 0808-704-1217. We encourage you to be part of the conversation. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Facebook at Bright FM Abuja, Facebook and YouTube. Please be sure to follow us. Now let's move forward to this next story. Mr. Celestine, you will like this one. This is on Vanguard newspaper, and is the APC chieftain coming out to lament. Now he's saying Nigerians begging for survival can't afford food. Now, the APC chieftain, Oyintiloye, that's a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress in Osun, has expressed concerns over the rising cost of food items in Nigeria. Now, according to him, the situation is becoming worrisome and unaffordable for the masses, with many households struggling to afford good meals and some even begging to survive. Now, the APC chieftain in Osun attributed the rise in food prices to insecurity, high transportation costs, climate change, and instability in the exchange rate. He also noted that the astronomical rise in food prices has affected the purchasing power of the citizens, leading to uncertainty, increased poverty, and a high cost of living. He cited a recent survey by the National Bureau of Statistics, which revealed that food prices have risen by over 100%. The APC chieftain urged the government to take tangible steps to address the issue, including setting up markets where food can be bought at subsidized rates. He also called on the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the FCCPC, to protect consumers' interests by promoting quality products at competitive price. He emphasized that the situation requires urgent attention from governments at all levels to prevent further increases in food prices. He acknowledged that the President Bola Tinubu-led administration is making efforts to bring down food prices, but many Nigerians are still struggling to afford 3 square meals. He urged governors and the federal government to intensify their efforts to address the issue, warning that the situation may worsen if left unattended. I beg to say that the situation has worsened. It's not me.
It has gone beyond.
Yes.
Yesterday, I was in the public transport, and I heard it's a brother and a sister were discussing. I think they couldn't hold it inside. How they were not sure of what to eat when they get home, and how the person the person they depended on just decided not to pick their calls. And I was like, do you
Because
know?
who they
Do you
pick
know
that
with that?
one call?
Do you know with that he has what to
He's
eat?
looking for who will pick his call.
So it has got
It's
to that
a
point
lot.
that people and feeding has become a very, how do I put it? Feeding has become a national challenge.
Mr. Sele, do you know the major challenge in this thing now is that you realize that it's not like we don't know where the issue is. For every time we talk about this issue, people dictate what is causing this thing.
We know.
And,
They
they
even
profess
profess
solution.
solutions.
In fact, Mr. Nze called in before I read this news. And a lot of the things that Mr. Nze said this morning,
Were-
the APC chieftain just repeated
Repeated
it.
them. So we know.
It's not like we're not aware.
We know what to do. We know how to do it. But just like what I said, I keep saying this, the political way. Some people are benefiting, take it or leave it. As long as you are suffering, there are people who are benefiting from your suffering. So they don't care. A lot of them, I'm happy that it is an APC chieftain that is saying this. So maybe he's one of a few that know that actually Nigerians are suffering. Because a lot of them don't know, they can't relate. I was telling you the other day, I think it was on this platform, how I went to fix a solar project for a family, and a child of over 7 years came out crying when we disengaged the power supply. And the father was like, oh, sweetheart, sorry, that this is the first time in her life she's experienced power failure.
Is it
In Nigeria.
in Nigeria?
And I was like, was she raised abroad? No. So there are people who won't relate with what we are suffering because they don't need to suffer to get this thing done. There is a cook who is the only one that knows
That goes to the
market.
market.
There is a driver who
buys
is the only one that
fuel.
buys fuel. There is virtually everybody.
National grid is not
And the
affecting them.
money they are spending is not their own. So that is it. It's very sad that they don't know what we are facing. They don't know what we are passing through. They can't relate because they won't pass through it. We're not exhausted. So they can't relate.
Mr. Stella, I told you that I would just you up yesterday when I went to the market. By the way, we've gone past the time where the average Nigerian person wants to even eat 3 square meals. These days, they're even asking for
one. Let me just eat once.
These days, they're even asking for one. There was a skit I came across on social media. I think that was on Instagram or thereabout, that they were asking somebody, like, what is your dream in life? Yes, now, how you ask those kind of questions, like, what's your dream in life? Is it to travel abroad? The person said to just chop food. Just imagine. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Mr. Sunday from Gariki. Please go ahead.
Okay, like I was talking about the project of the grid. Those coming out to Mami now, and they told you today that it's all about conspiracy.
No, Governor Zulum has actually been talking.
Nobody, okay, it's not that Zoom is talking, because I remember he has my there. And the people of God is not giving help. Because this thing has been existing for a
Yes. Mm.
People are benefiting from it.
Yes.
You know, as I said, any industry that lasted for the automatically
Government has a hand. Exactly.
you understand. So issue of this insecurity of a thing has more to do
Yes.
than I can see.
Exactly.
You understand? Because once they are no insecurity, those that are benefiting from that insecurity of a thing, they will remain idle.
Yes.
So time to time, they will fuel insecurity.
Exactly.
The government will call them. Once the government call them, they will need billions of naira.
Mm.
They will remain. When you see those guys in charge, you see the kind of massive mistakes they are into.
Yes.
See the kind of investment they are having.
Yeah.
How much is their salary?
Exactly.
With their salary, you see somebody riding on a car of about 350 billion.
How much is your salary?
Yeah, so these are questions because people are living above
Their means. Yes.
yeah. And that's not really why things are not working.
Mm.
You know, they get somebody contract to do a kilometer of road. If the road is for standard, the man the rest of it.
Mm.
Once that the people can pour, you realize that you want to wash it. So
Exactly.
the governor will construct road before the government is 4 years. The road will pour. You see, if
Ah.
the same road that you big billions of naira to construct, same road you can pay and go to me and go to reconstruct the same road. And no people are doing why no one will vote for it. No one will ask this governor. Use our money to fix this road, and this road could not last for 2 years.
For 2
And
years.
you're coming back again
To use the same road to campaign. He will go and fix that. Eating, yes. 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 Yes.
They will use the slogan, if you allow another father to come and contest, you go to use ATM. So you guys will wait for another 12 years before we ship back to the north. Let us support people so that you finish the ATM and go back to the north. This is the idea they are going to reduce the north and the state. So, because if you allow another person to come, you're going to use ATM.
Yes. I have used 4 years. At all. You collect and vote for the person.
Thank you. Let's round up.
Yes.
Please round up, yes. Mr. Sunday, please round off.
Yes, you just slogan that they say, giving life and giving hope.
Yeah, that's the same slogan. The slogan they used since 1983. It's unfortunate.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. I appreciate you. It's just really good to know that it's not like we don't know what our problem is. Because sometimes when people say, "Oh, for you to understand a problem, or for you to prefer a solution, you need to understand what the problem in itself is." As far as Nigeria is concerned, a lot of the things that we're going through, the average man on the street can just even prefer solutions for you.
Yes.
So it means that the people in authority know what to do.
They know what to do.
They know what to do.
But do you, I think let me deviate a little. I said this. The man in authority, the man in office, most of them don't know what I and you are passing through. They don't know what we are facing. So that we are able to provide the solutions is because we are the ones facing we are wearing the shoe. We know where it is paining. Most of them, they don't know. So it's high time we begin to make the political office less attractive, so that those who are truly facing the problem can get there to fix it.
It was one of our callers that mentioned cutting down the cost of governance.
Exactly.
Because that is one way to make them also feel that,
what we are feeling.
Sorry. Hello, good morning. Okay, please do well to call back 0808-704-1217. Let's take that one again. 0808-704-1217. It was one of our callers that was talking about, I think that was Mr. Yes, Mr. Steve from Duce, because he was saying that he doesn't agree that there are governors who cannot pay the minimum wage, that every governor can pay the minimum wage, and he was talking about how that their salaries, if you reduce it and invest the money,
Even the security
the
vote.
returns,
Do you know how
the
much
returns will do a lot for the state.
Yes, I agree with him.
So, but again, this is where we're at, and we just keep complaining, and it's as if nobody is listening.
Nobody's listening.
Yesterday I just touched one onion. It's not even plenty. That normal onion that used to be 15 naira that year
Yes,
now. There used to be 10 naira onions, and that small one. It's not like it's the big one.
Yes,
I think you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
Exactly. That 15 naira onion.
Just use one to.
I just touched it yesterday. The man just told me 500 naira. I held my chest. I'm like,
my brother.
one onion is 500. How much will you now cook a pot of rice? What is going on? I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah,
I
understand. That is the reality we are facing.
And I was just monitoring people's movements in the market yesterday, and somebody would just come and touch one thing, and they would just call price. The person would just look, and just move. In your budget, your money cannot afford it. Even going to
these things are not luxury. They are not luxury. They are basic things you need to cook.
People are
no
no longer even using groundnut oil to cook stew. It's now red oil. Even sometimes the red oil yourself, you don't even know where to find it. And somebody is somewhere lamenting that Nigerians are struggling to eat 3 square meals. We are not struggling to eat 3 square meals. It's one.
Struggling to eat one. No, for him, he is right, because there was a time, maybe for him, maybe he's now struggling to eat balanced 3 square meal. Mark the word, balanced 3 square meal. He's now seeing his associates struggling to eat balanced 3 square meal, not knowing that there are Nigerians who are struggling to eat one in-house square meal.
And the National Bureau of Statistics have also come out to reveal that food prices have increased by over 100%.
I wanted to fault that analysis. Are you telling me 100%? I looked very close when you read it. I thought they wrote 1,000%.
Mr. Zele, that's an exaggeration.
I'm not exaggerating.
Over
A bag of
100%.
rice. The bag of rice was how much? This guy just mentioned during Jonathan's regime. A bag of rice was 85, or let's say even 15,000. Now it is almost 150,000. How many percent is 150,000? It's not 1,000%.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? I'm fine, thank you. Miss Anze, is that you? All right. Okay, please. Zodi, so the food no be square
That's
again.
why I said one anyhow meal.
Thank you, sir. As funny as this is, it's
That's
true.
the reality we are facing.
It's true because do you know what it means to eat a square meal in itself? It means that all the nutrition, do you understand? The food is giving you the exact nutritional value that your body requires to function.
Nobody cares about that.
Siva, we know the problem. We know it. The common man has been saying it. People in government have been saying it. Humanitarian organizations have come out to say it. People who do research have come out to say it. So it means that the people in power,
They know
what these things are. So what we're saying is, can we even get to the point where we're even able to survive? Hello, good morning. All right, please do well to call back 0808 704 1217. 0808 704 1217. Hello, good morning. All right, do well to call us back. Let's move forward to the next story because I mean, Mrs. Ele, if we stay here, we're not going to leave here. I was just thinking about the social media content that I saw, and it was very sad when I saw it because when you ask somebody normally, what's your dream in life? You paint big pictures, paint very big pictures. So I want to travel abroad. Oh, my dream is to become a lawyer. Oh, my dream is to this. A dream to be read. Move over to this story in Daily Post newspaper, and headline reads: Nigeria living fake good life with fuel subsidy. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? All right, do well to call back. Now, moving forward to the main story. President Bola Tinubu has said that Nigerians were living a fake good life prior to the removal of fuel subsidy. Speaking at the 34th and 35th combined convocation ceremonies at the Federal University of Technology Akure in Ondo State, Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, Wahab, explained that his administration's decision to remove the petrol subsidy and unify exchange rates was necessary to prevent the country from falling into an economic crisis. Now, Tinubu noted that although the subsidies were intended to support the poor, they ultimately benefited the wealthy, leaving average Nigerians to bear the brunt of an unstable economy. As you're all aware, we took the baton of authority at a time when our economy was nosediving as a result of heavy debts from fuel and dollar subsidies, he said. Now, he continued, the subsidies were meant to support the poor and make life better for all Nigerians. Unfortunately, the good life we thought we were living was a fake one that was capable of leading the people or the country to a total collapse unless drastic efforts were urgently taken. The need to salvage the future of our children and bring the country back from the brink of collapse necessitated the strategic decisions to remove the fuel subsidy and also unify the exchange rate. Now, Tinubu assured Nigerians that the policies implemented by his administration were already yielding results with signs of economic recovery. The present challenges call for a high degree of patriotism, and it can also assure all Nigerians that there is light at the end of the tunnel. After rain comes sunshine, and that the brighter days are almost here. Two things I want to take out. First is that they agree that the people who are feeling the brunt are the poor masses. Guess who is leveraging? The wealthy people. Yes, it was said here.
Yeah.
That the people who are benefiting.
Now, my concern here is, yes, they are beautiful policies, they are good intentions, But just like what we keep saying, when you do the right thing at the wrong time,
It's a problem.
it becomes wrong in its own. If this government planned, I keep saying it, cushioning, if as in policies that is soft landing for the masses, we won't be here. But if I was to suggest, just like what people are saying, if I were to suggest to this government, the right thing to do, now you have collapsed the parallel market, fine. That one, because Nigeria, I know how much the federal government were losing on subsidizing the dollar. Because you see people who will who have links to CBN, who will just go there, get dollars, come to the parallel market, sell it, and make their gain. In fact, somebody said that if a top official of central bank, for instance, of all these big banks, want to settle you, he don't need to give you money. All he need to do is to write you a check in dollars, or just give you access to transfer dollars to you, just return the same amount. Maybe give you $1 million, for instance. Take $1 million loan, return the same $1 million in naira, and you are a big boy. Because they give you $1 million naira loan, for instance, by federal government. If they give you 1 million, if you are returning the same 1 million to CBN, the rate you are returning it may be at 450 naira. Why just take it and go and sell it 1,005?
That's a lot.
So what am I trying to say? If this government wants to cushion the effect on the ordinary masses, what do? Bring back the fuel subsidy. Leave the dollar, because the dollar does not have direct effect on the poor masses. Leave the dollar. Let's see how we manage it. But see what you do about it, because it has it is even the poor that we are now punishing.
They said it that the average Nigerians are the ones that are bearing the brunt. Because so before you feel see the light at the end of the tunnel, you feel not even see. You feel not even be alive to see the light.
You need to survive before you go see the light now.
Yes, now.
Can dead body they see light?
Yes,
people are dying on a daily basis. So whatever the government need to, what I'm expecting this government to be discussing now is how do we navigate out of this as fast as possible.
And my fear in all of this, Mr. Sele, my fear in all of this is if we continue this way in the next 1, 2, 3 years, the insecurity rates in this country, it will triple. I'm telling you. We will not even be talking about maybe insurgency or terror. No, we're talking about like criminal activities happening around. It will shock you.
If you are saying something like this, I keep quiet. You know why? Because if I open my mouth to talk, do you know, as in, I keep saying it, I am afraid, as in, I fear for my children.
It's scary.
I fear for my children. What people are doing to survive on the streets today.
May they just see food,
small children. If you see the risk they are willing to take, oh Jesus.
It's really, that's like
scary.
my major fear.
It's scary. And they are doing this just to survive, not for luxury.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Mr. Steve, please.
Please reduce the volume on your radio.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
See, they are going like
subsidy, yes.
People will sit up.
That is. presidential card. Yes. Exactly. Mm. Exactly. Mm. Oh.
Didn't we talk about
Oh. Yes.
we talked about transparency and how technology can aid it. Put numbers out there for people to see what's going on.
Yeah. Mm. Yes. Mm. We will not be crying for. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. Mm. Mm. See his smiling face. I really don't know.
It's a lot. A lot. A lot. He's going to South Africa next.
And you are touring the whole world.
He's looking for solutions.
How? Where is the result?
Let's round up, Mr. Steve. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution on that one. But I mean, complaining that the president is traveling, I don't see it as an issue, Mr. Sede, because I mean he's traveling to form alliance, he's traveling to collaborate with other. I mean he's going to South Africa next. He just came back from France. He's going to South Africa next too. If you don't, you have to travel. No, but truly,
you and I know you are not saying this. You know, there is an adage in Igbo land that someone whose house
is on fire
does not go after that. You are traveling, touring, going for state banquets, going for this, going for that, when your house is on fire. When new terrorist groups are emerging in Sokoto, when common man cannot buy gari to eat, and you are not thinking of how to provide solutions to this. Come on.
There's one thing that our last caller mentioned that is also very sad. You know, when he talked about how that there are several issues, you don't even know which one.
That is the problem. You don't know which one.
You don't know if it's leadership that is a problem. You don't know if it's insecurity that is a problem. You don't know if it's Phil and Dangote and Ipman and NNPC. You do everything, and you know how it is that when it's now looking too much, it now feels like there can't be any solution.
There can be. The truth is, let's tell ourselves the truth. Just, I think it was either this last caller or one of our class said it. It takes a decisive government less than 2 days to fix Nigeria. A government that wants to fix Nigeria, in less than 2 days, you will see how things will turn around, as if
for the better.
It is magic. But we are not seeing even an iota of trace of being decisive in this government at all. You know, there is another thing that said that a chick that will turn to a cockerel, you know it from the day it's hatched. So there is no sign that we are heading anywhere. So all we need to do is to pray That's a government that can see. I don't know, but it will take only intervention for us to get to where we are. But this government, no, we are heading nowhere.
I think that we head somewhere.
We are
They
heading
promised us
deeper
that there's
into
going to be light at the
yes,
end of
there
the
is
tunnel.
of course now. No matter
And
no
there's
matter how
sunshine
long,
after rain.
no matter how long the tunnel is, there is always light.
Yes. The
But
problem now
will
whether you will
live,
reach
will you live
where
to get
the-
to the end of the tunnel?
That's a deep one. Let's round up with this story on The Nation. Why faith-based universities charge high fees. Olukoya on this one now. The General Overseer of Mountain of Fire and Miracles and proprietor of Mountain Top University, Professor Daniel Olukoya, has attributed the high cost of maintaining universities to the reason faith-based universities charge high tuition. He stated that the high cost of energy is responsible for the high school fees. Olukoya emphasized that proprietors of faith-based universities are not to blame for the high fees. Now, Olukoya, who was conferred with honorary doctoral degree in management at the 34th and 35th convocation of the Federal University of Technology, explained that to attract teachers, universities must pay competitive salaries. He noted that running a private university on a generator is expensive, citing that in his university, most of the money goes to diesel. However, he mentioned that they're currently installing solar power. You see that whenever, yes,
I keep saying
yes, because that's why I relate whenever Mr. John says that thing that he says. And this is just for private. Most times we come out to say, oh, private universities, you people are cutting people's head with prizes, And it's even sad because in Nigeria now, because of the way our educational system is, a lot of people have argued that for a child to get quality education now, it's either you're in a private university or you're abroad, because of how our educational sector is. And even with the educational sector, we know that even the diesel price is affecting running activities. Hostels need lights to function.
Yes.
Offices need lights to function. How many government universities are using solar?
No, just like he just stated the obvious, and I think we have even said that on this platform over
and over again. Yes.
Talk about the best universities in Africa, in the whole world anyway. Talk about the best universities in the whole world. It is faith-based universities that come top. Why? Because they maintain standard. To maintain standard, it takes money.
You just mentioned you have to pay competitive
salary to attract the best lecturers. You have to spend money to have the best infrastructure on ground. And you have to maintain power at a very excruciating price in the Nigeria that we are today. So to maintain it, yes. But my happiness is that most of these faith-based universities, take it or leave it, their graduates come out as firebrands. So they justify the money you pay. Federal government should also look at, I think it was around last week or last 2 weeks that we said the best way to go, give these universities autonomy. Let them generate if it to increase school fees, let them increase the school fees, and let's see the effect on the result of our graduating students.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Anze. Yes. You don't need to be sorry.
Try ignore us, my brother. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Okay.
You reverse.
Come back, yes. Exactly. We have said this over and over. Mm. My dear. Yes.
Borrowing to pay workers.
According to the person. Mm. Yes.
Please round up, Mr. Anze.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nze. I think we need
Yeah.
to sit around, we had a lot of, interesting things to talk about today, and we're just hopeful that somehow there are people in authority
That will
listening.
listen to us.
From when we talked about, the loans that you deducted from workers' salary, remit it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Remit it. These people have done their part.
They have worked. They have retired. To pay the banks to pay them their
Remit
money,
it.
their gratuities, their whatever.
And we're giving kudos to the Humanity Development and Empowerment Organization that came out to say, okay, this is what is going on.
Yes.
Government, please do the needful. 12 billion naira is a lot.
You are not seeing with some reports suggesting that over 2.2 trillion naira has been borrowed.
Yes, now
From
to
that.
pay civil
Yes.
servants. That's the same thing we're talking about, borrowing to pay.
They borrow from what people civil servants have saved from their money. The government will come and take it.
That's a lot. We talked about labor and different state governments. Please, we should do the needful.
They should do the needful.
70,000 naira is not even enough.
It's nothing to write home
Please, let's, so that we don't hear that, labor is doing strike in different states and all of that. We also talked about, insecurity, and Governor Zulum, coming out to talk about how the political elements and military personnel are benefiting from insurgency. And I still support, Mr. Abdallah on, state of emergency on insecurity,
Yes.
especially because of the rate, at which, hunger, the route hunger is taking now is going to, oh my God, the amount of, okay.
See, you know why I agree with that state of emergency.
See, hunger is a problem.
Are you telling me that if Nigerian military mount regular surveillance on all these farmlands,
What are you saying?
Farmers will easily go.
There's
to
a
their
governor
farms.
that came out to say that they know where these people are.
Yes.
Have you forgotten? There's a governor that came out to say that. We also went forward to another story about APC chieftain lamenting that Nigerians are begging for survival and can't afford food. It is visible to the blind. Very, very visible to the blind. One piece of onions is now 500. You understand? Cannot even this festive season. We don't know
how we
how
are
people are going to travel, how people are going to celebrate, transportation.
Okay, I've not told
fare.
you. I've not. Oh, okay, yes.
You
Don't
just,
even, I was discussing when I came back from Lagos.
Yes.
I was Lagos over. So when I came back, I'm like, do you know that to travel even through the road from Abuja to Lagos alone, you budget nothing less than 50K and above.
is it going and coming?
Just to go. No, just to go.
Just to go now.
So now I say, okay, so if my family is in Lagos and maybe we are 4, so and we just want to go and see Papa, Big Dad and Big Mom and come back.
Big Dad go need to day this Christmas.
So it means I should
You're going
budget.
to spend
I'll
a lot
budget
of-
400K
over 400,000.
on transport alone. I go send Big Dad 200K. Use
May
200K
just
go for
stay.
it.
Make everybody just
So that is
survive this year.
It looks funny, but it is what people are facing. A lot of people cannot travel. There are people that have very important events to attend, very important functions to go and perform. They can't afford to travel because of the cost of transportation.
Mr. Sele, your last takes. I don't want sad this morning.
Seriously, this December is a December to celebrate, but government should just help us. Because people are not even sure of what to eat today, not to talk of Christmas. You know, this is the period that people would have started thinking of.
Yes, now it brings excitement.
Excitement.
Somebody, when I was coming this morning, somebody said, I don't even know, say December don't reach.
Yes, people, this is the period people
usually when we just enter Ember Month,
yes,
the
excitement, especially from December 1st, everybody is happy, Christmas is coming.
But now we don't.
But nobody is, in fact, please, government should help us.
Thank you.
People are dying on a daily basis, and it's no longer funny.
Thank you so much, Mr. Celestine, for being part of our conversation this morning. Thank you for your thoughts and your perspectives this morning. That brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM. A very big thank you to all of our callers. You guys are amazing. You make this show what it is. Mr. John from Otako, thank you so much. Mr. Nze, thank you so much. Mr. Steve from Duce, I think your first time caller, thank you so much. I appreciate your call. Mr. Sunday from Gary Key and Yinka on WhatsApp, thank you so much. Our listeners at home, we appreciate you for always taking our time to listen to our program. Also, I apologize to the people who sent in voice notes on WhatsApp. Our engineer is working to make sure that moving forward that we can hear your voice notes. Please don't touch your radio because it'll be off spots. We'll be taking over next to give you all the latest on the world of sports. Happy New Month one more time and welcome to the visit.
And now 24/7 Christmas music.
Halloween was yesterday.
Christmas!